The 1980s were a unique time for technology and entertainment, filled with gadgets that have since become obsolete. From VCRs to Betamax tapes, these everyday items defined a generation. Can you imagine a time before streaming or digital downloads? Join us as we explore 25 everyday items from the 1980s that Gen Z has never seen. VCRs, revolutionizing home entertainment. In the 1980s, VCRs, video cassette recorders, became the main way people watched movies at home before DVDs and streaming services became popular. VCRs, introduced in the 1970s, let people record TV shows and watch movies rented or bought on VHS tapes. This new technology changed home entertainment, allowing viewers to watch their favorite content anytime. VCRs used magnetic tape inside a plastic cassette to play and record video and audio. The most common format was VHS, which beat Betamax in the format battle. VCRs allowed users to play, rewind, fast forward, and record. Over time, the tapes would wear out, affecting picture and sound quality. By the early 2000s, DVDs replaced VHS, and streaming services made physical media nearly obsolete. VCRs revolutionized home entertainment. Walkman, music everywhere. In the 1980s, Walkman became the popular portable cassette player that allowed people to listen to music wherever they went. Sony introduced the first model, the TPS-L2, in 1979, changing how people enjoyed music. Before Walkmans, music was mostly listened to at home or in the car, but these small devices made it possible to take your favorite songs anywhere. Walkmans were lightweight and came with foam-covered headphones, which became a symbol of personal music enjoyment. They used cassette tapes that could hold up to 90 minutes of music, letting users make their playlists by recording songs from the radio or other tapes. Despite issues like needing new batteries and varying sound quality, the Walkman became hugely popular, influencing future portable music devices and modern streaming services. Betamax, the underdog. Betamax tapes were a video format created by Sony in 1975 that competed with VHS in the 1980s. They were the first successful home videotape format, allowing people to record TV shows and watch movies at home, changing how we enjoyed media. Betamax had better quality than VHS, with a resolution of about 250 lines. However, the main downside was its shorter recording time, starting at just 1 hour, while VHS tapes could record up to 2 hours. This made VHS more popular with consumers who wanted to record longer content. Betamax lost the battle to VHS despite better quality due to higher cost and time limitations. By the mid-1980s, VHS became the leading format, and Betamax eventually disappeared, with Sony stopping production in 2002. Polaroid cameras, instant photography. Press this button, and a new era in photography begins. Polaroid introduces sonar automatic focusing. In the 1980s, Polaroid cameras became a popular way to take photos and see them immediately. The first Polaroid camera, the Land Model 95, was introduced by Edwin H. Land in 1948 and changed how people thought about photography. Unlike traditional film cameras, which needed film to be developed in a dark room, Polaroid cameras allowed users to see their photos within minutes. These cameras used special film to produce the photo right after the picture was taken. The chemicals in the film reacted to light, creating an image in about 60 seconds. The design of Polaroid cameras, with their boxy shape and colorful rainbow stripe, became a well-known symbol of the 1980s, making photography easier and more enjoyable for everyone at parties, family events, and vacations. Polaroid cameras redefined instant photography. Dot matrix printers, the printing revolution. But what about devices that brought efficiency to printing? Let's explore the era of dot matrix printers. Dot matrix printers were common in the 1980s and were known for their loud noise and unique-based printing method. Unlike modern inkjet or laser printers, these printers used a print head that moved back and forth across the paper, striking an ink-soaked ribbon to create characters and images with tiny dots. Though their printing was not as smooth as today's methods, it was very effective. Introduced in the early 1970s, these printers became popular because they were affordable and efficient. The Centronics 101 was the first successful model, setting the standard. Businesses valued these printers for their ability to print on multi-part forms, making them perfect for carbon copies. Despite their noise, dot matrix printers were durable and reliable, lasting many years. Floppy disks, the early storage solution. Maxwell's RD series floppy disks were commonly used to store and transfer data before USB drives became popular. They were first introduced in the 1970s and gained popularity in the 1980s and 1990s. There were two main sizes, the 5.25-inch and the 3.5-inch disks. The 5.25-inch floppy, introduced in 1966, was flexible and could hold up to 1.2 megabytes of data. It was widely used in early personal computers and word processors. The 3.5-inch floppy, introduced in 1982, had a more durable plastic case and could hold up to 1.44 megabytes of data, making it more popular. These disks were used to share software, transfer files, and backup data. They were read and written by a floppy disk drive. Despite their popularity, floppy disks had a small storage capacity and could be damaged by dust or magnets. By the late 1990s, they were replaced by CDs, DVDs, and USB drives, which offered better storage and reliability. Pagers, staying in touch. Here's how it looks for today. Motorola has made it easier to stay directly in touch with those important to you. Mom, we got a better idea. We'll page you. Pagers, also called beepers, were small devices that let people receive text messages before cell phones became common. They were invented in the 1940s and became popular in the 1980s and 1990s. People would clip pagers to their belts or keep them in their pockets, and they would beep or vibrate when a message was received. Pagers worked by receiving radio signals sent by a central transmitter. When someone wanted to reach you, they would call a pager number and leave a numeric or alphanumeric message. The pager would display the message on a small screen. Since pagers could only receive messages, users had to find a payphone or landline to reply, making them less convenient than modern communication methods. CRT televisions, the backbone of home entertainment. Oh no, I'm home. No miss, no. Don't go miss, don't go in. CRT televisions, or cathode ray tube TVs, were large and heavy tube televisions common in many living rooms. These TVs used a vacuum tube with electron guns to show pictures on a glowing screen. The technology behind CRTs started in the late 1800s but became very popular in the middle of the 20th century. CRT TVs were known for their bright colors and dependable performance, which made them the center of home entertainment. They came in different sizes, but even the smaller ones were heavy compared to modern flat-screen TVs. The screens were curved, and the larger the TV, the deeper the tube. As technology improved, CRTs were replaced by lighter, thinner, and more energy-efficient flat-screen TVs, like LCD and LED models. CRT TVs revolutionized home entertainment. Speak and spell, learning made fun. But speaking of innovations, what toy became a must-have for kids in the 80s? Let's explore the rise of Speak and Spell. The Speak and Spell was an educational toy created to help children improve their spelling through interactive games. Introduced by Texas Instruments in 1978, it was among the earliest handheld electronic devices to feature a visual display and replaceable game cartridges. The toy used a TMCZ28 linear predictive coding speech synthesizer to pronounce words and phrases. Its bright orange design and simple keyboard made it appealing and easy for kids to use. The toy included spelling games like Mystery Word and Secret Code, encouraging children to spell correctly. It offered immediate responses, praising correct answers and gently motivating kids to try again when they made mistakes, creating a dynamic learning experience. Atari 2600, the birth of home video games. Watch yourself fall, stop BS and time. If I don't get you, we my W. The Atari 2600 was a highly popular home gaming console in the 1980s. Released in 1977 by Atari Inc., it was initially called the Atari Video Computer System before changing its name in 1982. This console was groundbreaking for its time, using interchangeable game cartridges, which was a big step forward compared to older systems with built-in games. The Atari TWO-6000 had an 8-bit microprocessor and 128 bytes of RAM. It came with 2 joystick controllers and a set of paddle controllers for different types of games. Iconic titles like Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and Pitfall became household names. Despite facing setbacks like the 1983 video game crash, the Atari 2600 remains an important part of gaming history. Ghetto Blasters, soundtrack of the streets. Ordinary stereo with 2 separate channels of sound and Panasonic ambient sound. Ambient sound gives you a rich, full-dimensional sound that's all around you. Ghetto Blasters, also called boomboxes, were large portable cassette tape players with big speakers that became popular in the 1980s. These devices were iconic in hip-hop culture as they were seen carried by teenagers in cities. Ghetto Blasters were first introduced in the late 1970s, allowing people to take their music and enjoy loud sound and deep bass. The first boombox, the Nelco 202 RL962, was made by Philips in 1966. In the 1980s, Ghetto Blasters gained widespread popularity. They featured AM/FM radio, 2 cassette decks for playing and recording music, and powerful speakers powered by batteries. They were portable, but their size and weight made them hard to carry around without effort. Nintendo Entertainment System, a game changer. When you get hold of the Nintendo Entertainment System, when you master Rob the Video Robot, the Zapper guns were light guns used for shooting games on the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, released in North America in 1985. The NES Zapper became a well-known accessory for the console. It allowed players to aim at the TV screen and shoot at targets in games, offering a more interactive gaming experience. The original design of the Zapper resembled a revolver. Still, it was later redesigned to look like a futuristic ray gun with a bright orange color to make it different from real firearms. The Zapper detected light from the screen when the trigger was pulled. Popular games like Duck Hunt, Hogan's Alley, and Wild Gunman were some of the well-loved titles that used the Zapper. The NES system revolutionized home gaming and paved the way for the massive gaming culture we know today. The Sega Genesis, pushing the limits of gaming. Yeah, you're the first serious gamer I've seen all morning. Check this out. Brand new 16-bit Super Nintendo is Super Mario World. Wow. The Sega Genesis, also called the Mega Drive outside North America, was a popular video game console that helped lead the 16-bit gaming era. Released in Japan in 1988 and in North America in 1989, it was Sega's third console and the successor to the Master System. The Genesis quickly became known for its strong graphics, sound, and large collection of games. It was powered by a Motorola 68000 processor and a Zilog Z80 sound controller, making gameplay smooth with vibrant audio. The console offered many games, from fast-paced action games like Sonic the Hedgehog to sports games like Madden NFL. Its success was helped by effective marketing with the slogan, "Genesis does what Nintendo doesn't," emphasizing its advantages over Nintendo. The Sega Genesis revolutionized gaming and became a major player in the battle of consoles. Jelly shoes, 1980s fashion must-have. But what about a fashion trend that brought glitter and color to the 80s? Let's explore jelly shoes. Juicy summer jellies, preschool girls, just $29.99. Jelly shoes, also called jellies, were colorful rubber sandals that became very popular in the 1980s. They were made from PVC plastic and were known for their bright colors and glittery designs. The name jelly shoes came from their jelly-like look and feel. They were first created by the French company Jelly Shoes, started by Tony Alano and Nicolas Guan in 1980. These shoes were lightweight, waterproof, and affordable, which made them a favorite among children and teenagers. They came in different styles, including sandals, flats, and boots. Jelly shoes were versatile, perfect for the beach, the pool, or casual everyday wear. Despite their simple design, they were seen as stylish and were popular with trendsetters and celebrities. Cabbage Patch Kids, the craze of the 80s. Cabbage Patch Kids were cute and a little creepy, stuffed dolls with unique faces that became one of the most wanted toys of the 1980s. created by Xavier Roberts in 1978. They were originally called Little People and sold at craft fairs. Each doll had its name and birth certificate, making them feel special and personalized. In 1982, Coleco took over the rights to make the dolls in large quantities and renamed them Cabbage Patch Kids. The dolls had soft bodies and plastic heads, known for their round faces and big eyes. They quickly became a cultural sensation, with parents rushing to buy them for their children. This led to huge demand and even store riots during the holiday season. The Clapper, control devices with a clap. Clap, 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 CL. Let you turn things on or off from anywhere in the room. The Clapper was a sound-activated electrical switch introduced in 1984 by Joseph Enterprises, Inc. and marketed by Joe Padot. It allowed users to clap their hands to control appliances like lamps and TVs. The device was plugged into a regular electrical outlet and could control up to 2 devices, each activated by a different clap pattern. The Clapper became famous for its catchy slogan, "Clap on, clap off the Clapper," which was featured in TV commercials. It offered a convenient way for people to turn on lights or appliances without getting up from their seats. The device also had a security feature that turned on a light at any sound, helping to scare off potential intruders. Simon, the game of memory. Does it feel like to play Simon? You gotta look, listen. Simon was an electronic memory game that became very popular in the 1980s. It was created by Ralph H. Beyer and Howard J. Morrison and first released by Milton Bradley in 1978. The game had a round, colorful device with 4 large buttons that lit up and played different sounds. The goal was for players to repeat increasingly difficult sequences of lights and sounds. Inspired by an earlier Atari arcade game called Touch Me, Simon improved the original concept by using more pleasant sounds and a better design. The game became a big hit, especially around the holidays, and was a common item on children's wish lists. Its success was helped by a special launch event at Studio 54 in New York City. ZX Spectrum, a home computing revolution. Right, pay attention, Bond. This is the ZX Spectrum Plus 2. It's fully operational. The ZX Spectrum was a popular 8-bit home computer that became well known in the 1980s. Created by Sinclair Research and released in the United Kingdom on April 23, 1982, it was designed by Sir Clive Sinclair. The Spectrum was praised for its small size, rubber keyboard, and colorful graphics, greatly improving over its predecessor, the ZX81. It featured a Z80A processor running at 3.5 MHz and had models with 16 kilobytes or 48 kilobytes of memory. The computer connected to a television for display, and audio cassette tapes were used to load and save programs. The ZX Spectrum's low cost and versatility made it a favorite among families and enthusiasts, playing a major role in the growth of home computing and video games. The ZX Spectrum revolutionized home computing. Casio calculator watches, fashion meets function. But what other 1980s gadget combined style and function like never before? Let's explore B-Parks for Casio. Would you rather have a calculator or a watch? With a Casio calculator watch, you have both. The Casio calculator watch was a popular gadget in the 1980s, combining a digital watch with a built-in calculator. Released by Casio in 1980, these watches became famous for their practicality and futuristic look. The watch had a small keypad on the face, allowing users to do basic math like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. One of the most well-known models was the Casio Databank series. It included a calculator and featured a calendar, alarm, and phone book. Its stylish design and multiple functions made it a favorite among students, professionals, and technology lovers. The calculator watch was especially useful for quick calculations while on the go, making it an essential tool for everyday tasks. Game Boy, the future of portable gaming. Only possible with all the power and excitement of Nintendo right in the palm of your hand. Introducing Game Boy. It's portable. It's in stereo. The Game Boy was a groundbreaking portable video game console introduced by Nintendo in 1989, designed by Gunpei Yokoi. It became a cultural symbol of the 1990s. The Game Boy featured an 8-bit processor and a monochrome screen that displayed games in 4 shades of gray. Despite its basic graphics, the console gained immense popularity due to its affordable price, long-lasting battery, and various games. A standout feature of the Game Boy was its ability to use interchangeable cartridges, which made switching games easy. When it launched, it included the popular puzzle game Tetris, which helped the console succeed. Digital dictionaries, the evolution of language, has access to over 1 million words, all stored in its microchip memory. That's enough words to fill one side of over 4,000 sheets of fully printed A4 paper. Digital dictionaries, also known as electronic dictionaries, gained popularity in the 1980s as technology advanced. These devices let users quickly look up words and their meanings without needing a large book. Early digital dictionaries were small, handheld gadgets with screens and keyboards, similar to tiny laptops. They gave instant access to various information such as definitions, synonyms, and translations. One of the first was the Seiko Electronic Dictionary, introduced in the early 1980s. It had a simple design and limited vocabulary, but it was a groundbreaking product. As technology progressed, companies like Casio and Sharp created more advanced models with bigger word lists and features like pronunciation help and grammar advice. These dictionaries were popular with students and travelers, but eventually lost out to software applications and online dictionaries that offered even more features. Answering machines, revolutionizing communication. Check out the black dress if you want to do well in school. What a bubble butt! You have to keep up with current events. Express-It, the Lucker answering machine. Answering machines were important household items in the 1980s because they allowed people to receive messages when they couldn't pick up the phone. While the idea started in the early 20th century, it wasn't until the 1970s and 1980s that they became affordable and widely available. These machines used magnetic tape to record messages, which could later be played. The first popular answering machine, called the Electronic Secretary, was introduced in 1949. By the 1980s, machines like the PhoneMate 400, which could store up to 20 messages, became well known. These devices had a speaker, a microphone for recording messages, and a tape deck for storing incoming messages. Some models allowed users to change their greetings and even check messages remotely from another phone. Presto Pop-Lite Hot Air Corn Popper, a healthy snack solution. Make a healthy treat with the Presto Pop-Lite Hot Air Corn Popper. It pops with hot air, not oil, for a low-fat treat. Air poppers became a popular kitchen tool in the 1980s, changing how people made popcorn at home. These devices, introduced in the late 1970s, used hot air to pop the kernels without needing oil, making popcorn a healthier snack. The Presto Popcorn Pumper, released in 1978, was one of the first air poppers sold. The air popper worked by blowing hot air through the kernels, causing them to pop and shoot fluffy popcorn into a bowl. This method was quicker, easier, and healthier than oil on a stovetop. Air poppers quickly became a favorite in many households, especially for family movie nights. They offered a simple and more nutritious alternative to traditional popcorn making methods. Air poppers revolutionized snack time. But what other 1980s device transformed home entertainment forever? Let's explore the rise of cable boxes. Cable boxes changing the television experience. Cable boxes became an essential part of television in the 1980s, changing how people accessed entertainment. First introduced in the 1970s, these devices expanded channel options beyond the few available on broadcast TV. By decoding cable signals, they allowed users to watch various specialized channels, including sports, movies, and news. Early models were large and typically placed on top of the television. They featured dials or buttons for channel selection. Some even included a wired remote control. The arrival of cable boxes marked a major change in home entertainment, giving viewers more choices and the ability to explore programming tailored to their interests, paving the way for a new era of television. Fax machines, the future of document transmission. In the 1980s, fax machines became essential tools for homes and offices, allowing people to send and receive documents through telephone lines. The technology behind faxing dates back to 1843, when Scottish inventor Alexander Bain created the first device to transmit images. By the 1970s and 1980s, fax machines were widely used in businesses and homes. A fax machine scans a document and converts it into electrical signals, which travel through phone lines to another fax machine. The receiving machine decodes the signals and prints a copy of the original document. Early models used thermal paper, but later designs shifted to plain paper, making fax machines more affordable and convenient for everyday use in professional and personal settings.